guys, thank you again for joining us today. And this is technically, like a new broadcast, a new podcast that we're doing right now. Your Voice Matters, the podcast experience. And I'm so glad that you've joined us again. And you know what? It's been pretty exciting, this new, adventure into a new podcast. My former podcast was Leader Talk with Joe Dietrich. It's still out there. There's still a lot of value you can get out of it. But right now, it's a new one. We're in a brand new venture here as we're going into 2025. New things are happening. A lot of new things are happening in the world. But there was a conversation I wanted to talk to you guys I was having just the other day. A young adult who's needing some more cash, needing some more money. And it was like, man, I really need prayer about getting more money, more income. They already have a job, but the job is kind of limited. And so one of the things that I've always learned in life, and I want to share with you guys, is that, you know what, there's opportunity out there, right? Even though there are naysayers out there in the world that say, oh, opportunity is not what it used to be, whatever. But with the advent of social media, the advent of AI and other tools that are out there, we do have more opportunities than we've had in the past. There's a lot more access. There's a lot more access to just things, information, trainings, and a whole bunch of things that are out there. So one of the things that I like to share, and I'm just going to share with you guys up front, hopefully you can see this, is a couple of key verses. All right, a couple of key verses that I want us to lock in on during this episode. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, Holman Christian Standard Bible, one of my favorite versions. It says, wisdom is supreme, so get wisdom. And whatever else you get understanding. And then the other chapter and verse is Proverbs 23:23. And I also like the Good News translation. It says, truth, wisdom, learning, and good sense. These are worth paying for, but too valuable for you to sell. And I like for you guys to lock in on that learning and paying for it. Because sometimes in life, like, hey, we go to college, we go to school, those things are paid for. Now, when you're in high school, generally that's paid for, out of public funds, taxes and whatever. And then when you go to college, that's when the rubber really meets the road and you're paying for it. But there's also another way you can make money. It is through self-education. And that's where, in college, sometimes you get scholarships and there's loans and you kind of pay for that education. But they kind of like put you in a certain direction, or, you had like family tell you, oh, I want you to be a doctor, nurse, or, learn this trade, or maybe sociology, or whatever the case may be. But when a critical time comes in life and you say, hey, I like to pursue this. I like to pursue X. I want to be an entrepreneur. This is where, we have to really put our thinking caps on, pray to God, ask for wisdom and guidance, and say, hey, look, I need to self-educate. Like where the Bible told us here in Proverbs 23, I have to get learning. I have to get it, purchase it, seek it out. And it also says in the scripture too, that kings like search out a matter. God kind of hides things sometimes for us to like seek it out, get into that journey of knowing and understanding. So there's a relationship to that, seeking it out, learning it, paying for it. There's a kind of a value to it. Sometimes we can get education for free through mentors, right? Or we intern, we volunteer. Those are other ways that you can make money by getting an internship or volunteering at a place that you would like to work at someday, or at a place where you're kind of learning the skills because one day you want to develop your own product, or maybe you want to start your own restaurant, or maybe you want to start your own business. So you kind of like intern or work or volunteer at the place where you kind of want to emulate. So to answer the question about like, hey, how can I make extra money? Now is kind of like a decision to like self-educate. Sometimes you got to purchase it by getting a coach. Sometimes you got to purchase it through getting a mentor. The possibilities are out there, but there's also a free way. And we've seen it before. We're seeing it now. And it's kind of like through AI. Asking AI, like, hey, look, I want to start this, I want to create this widget and I want to actually mass sell it and produce it, whatever. Hey, what are some of the things out there doing deep thinking to help me develop this product, or to maybe market this product or create this business? Help me do that deep thinking. Oh, by the way, AI, help me to create a business plan. So those are some of the ways that you can self-educate through either free means or paid means. Either way, self-education is helpful. And I wrote down a couple of things here, and I put on there for our mind shift in this arena of getting more money, self-learning, self-education. I put on here, self-education equals self-leadership. And man, I want to say that again. Self-education equals self-leadership. And it's kind of empowering that when we ask God for wisdom, when we ask God to step out in faith and do things, or he's calling us out there, and we take those steps to self-educate ourselves into that purpose, not like we're relying totally on ourselves, but we're like asking the questions like, who can help me to follow through on X? Now, the number one person that can always help you is the Lord. And I always tell people, like through my educational videos, even some of my podcasts that you can watch, and make sure you like and subscribe. Okay. By the way, like and subscribe so you can get more and get those, little notifications and stuff like that to let you know when I put something fresh out and new. But the thing is like, ask God first, because he gives wisdom. It says in the book of James that if we lack wisdom in anything, ask God, who gives generously without condemnation, and he'll start leading us to those opportunities or people or things that can help us to achieve that next level in life, or whether it's in business or education or finding that job that you've always wanted to get so you can be in your purpose. First thing, ask God. The next thing you need to do is like, hey, look, in prayer, hey, who do I know is already doing this? And I kind of said that before. So you can start getting your mind processes, because I've seen it before. God's already put the answer in your brain, but we're not asking the right questions to kind of jog out that stuff that he's already placed in us to, boom, put it into place. The next thing that you need to ask, and is highly important as well, is like, Lord, what are the skills, the things that you've already taught me in life that I already have in my hand? Like when God told Moses to go to Egypt, and he was like, hey, Moses, I want you to go and free the people. And he's like, well, Lord, I don't know what to do. I don't speak so well. I don't have the skill sets or whatever to do this. And the Lord told him, like, hey, what's in your hand? So what's in your hand? What are the skills that you already like kind of honed, that you're good at, that you can use right now to make extra money? Now, there's a lot of opportunities out there. Sometimes you might already have a driver's license, and there's a lot of businesses out there that we've seen that you can have a driver's license, you have a vehicle, and you can start a side job delivering, whether it's food or packages, things of that nature, to make a little extra money. And then, oh, by the way, while you're doing that, you can make some connections, and you never know what that might lead to. You might start your own delivery business. And then volunteering. I already talked about that. The next thing, one of the third things you could do is volunteer somewhere and actually start learning a skill for free. And then number 4, take classes. Maybe go to school again, college, or maybe just get a side course somewhere at this university or college, whatever the case may be, trade school, to where you can learn a different trade that you've always been wanting to learn. So there's a lot of ways out there that we can actually make money. And there's even virtual ways you can make money right now. There's even ways like, hey, if you already know a skill, you're pretty proficient at it, and then you can tutor online, making money like that. A whole slew of different things. There's even, you can advertise if you want to, if you know how to edit videos, if you know how to create copy, you know how to write stories. You could be a ghostwriter for somebody. You could be an editor of videos for someone. If you know how to proficiently use AI, you can actually help people to be like an AI consultant. I mean, those are just some ideas right there. So self-education leads to self-leadership. If you know how to ask the right questions, you know how to approach God, and I'm just giving you guys some tips here to learn how to just extract those things out of your life with God's help, with using other people, mentors, coaches, and things of that nature. It'll start helping you to, like, if you get in a rough spot in the future, you kind of know, asking the right questions, how to get out of that little stuck spot in the future. So hopefully this blesses you guys. And some other things I wanted to mention to you guys, like right now, ask yourself one thing, and I wrote these down. What are you doing right now to self-educate? Have you been kind of lackadaisical right now? You're kind of like in a lull in life, and you're like, man, I want to make some extra money, want to make some extra cash, maybe get a side hustle. But you can be kind of lull in that, maybe doing a little self-education, learning a new trade, learning a new skill set will get you out of that lull, birth some life in you. And then the next question is, and this is very good too, which is going to lead to some other episodes in this Your Voice Matters podcast. What is one book, podcast, or course that can change your mindset that's keeping you stuck, maybe not making that extra money or getting that promotion that you want, that can help you get to that next level? And hopefully this podcast here, and I pray that this podcast, these video series will be that podcast to help you, get out of that stuck mindset, especially if you wanting to make extra money. I would say diving into my podcasts here, and even in my previous podcast, I had a lot of entrepreneurs on my previous podcast, and they can maybe stir up some ideas to help you maybe step into entrepreneurship, or even have an idea to just even create a product, or even an idea like, hey, maybe I can work over here, or maybe I can do this, and stir up those gifts that God has placed in your heart that you don't think you have, but it's more than likely there. So try it out. Do those questions here, and remember, like, guys, you're never too. This is the other tip. Yeah, you're never too old to learn a new thing, and you're not too young to start something new. Okay, you're not too old to learn a new thing, but you're not too young to start a new thing. So check that out. Let that just drop in your spirit right there. So go back, ask God, hey, what am I doing right now to self-educate? What should I be doing to self-educate so I can self-lead myself into the next level of life where I need to be? Now, I don't want you to get hung up on the making money bit, because this could just be, hey, look, going to the next level in life. This could be maybe advancing your ministry. This may be simply I need extra money. Where can I go? What can I learn? What can I do to get that extra income that I need in my life? So, hey, if you need to go through this again, go through the video one more time and see what God drops into your heart. And don't forget, comment below. What are your thoughts about this episode? What are your thoughts about self-education? What are your thoughts about, hey, maybe learning something new? What are your thoughts about, man, I have been in a lull. Maybe I do need to do some self-education, or maybe I do need to pick up a book or listen to a new podcast or take a new course so I can step into the right mindset, so I can get off my hindquarters and step into God's purposes for my life. So hopefully this blessed you. I pray that it has. And as I'm ending this podcast, don't forget, like, subscribe, even share this podcast with someone who might need a little tip to just jump into the next level of life and get that little butt kick that they need to jump into their purpose. So God bless you. And like I always tell folks, have a positive expectation of God's goodness in your life each and every day. God bless you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast and share this podcast, because you need to get leadership tips out there and have a positive expectation of God's goodness in your life each and every day. Hey, if you want to find out more about what I do, go to joedietrich.com. Go to joedietrich.com and see what we're up to. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.